Welcome, ladies, to your 10:15 stretch class. Today is 45 minutes of stretching just for you. And the equipment that you're going to need today is a countertop or a sturdy chair. Actually, you're going to need a chair anyway, as well as a stretching band, or if you have like a rag or a t-shirt you don't care about, basically just something that's long enough for you to grab onto, because we're going to be doing some handy stretches today. But first, let's go ahead and get warm. So, take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Good. And let's do that again. We're going to sort of bring our chest up and our arms a little high, and then when we exhale, we're just going to swing it all out. So you can bring in and exhale. Good. Again, inhale. Bring your arms a little higher. Bring deep a little bit more. And exhale. Good. One more time. Big inhale. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. And exhale. Very nice. Let's bring those arms across. Dropping the shoulders down, away from the ears. A nice long neck. Very good. Beautiful. Small rotation through the torso. And let's slow this down a little bit. And you're going to bring your eyes from wall to wall. And I want you to really think about getting a full rotation through the rib cage and the spine. Good. Shoulders stay down. Chest is nice and open. Good. And let's do 3 and 2 and 1, and let's bring those hands to the shoulders. We're going to go into a small hip hinge, into a reach. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Beautiful. Getting that breath going. We're moving with a smaller range of motion in the legs, but a larger range of motion in the upper body. And we're just getting that breath. Very good. Little squeeze the glutes every time. Squeeze the glutes. Driving through those heels, and let's go ahead and begin to increase the range of motion in the squat. If your knees are a little bit sensitive today, you can always keep the range of motion on the smaller side.
Yoga and meditation. Here you go.
Good. Beautiful. Weight goes back into those heels. Your hips sit all the way back. Good. Let's do that 3 more times. 3, reach, 2, reach, and 1. Reach all the way up to the sky. Take that right arm. You're going to drop that behind the head. Go ahead and grab that elbow. Into our tricep stretch. Those fingertips walking down the back. Good. Soften up your knees just a little bit. Keep that core nice and tight. And you're going to try to isolate the hips. Just give it a little hip roll here. Good. Big breath in. And exhale as you release that hand, both hands up to the sky again. And we'll do the tricep on the other side. And hip roll the other way. Look at us multitasking. And as you're sending your hips around in a circle, it should feel kind of nice on your lower back. Squeezing the glutes as the hips comes forward and tightening the core. Good. Big breath in. And exhale as you reach both arms all the way up and going to float them down to the front of the body. You're going to create an X in front of your chest, and then you're going to flip your palms so your palms are facing each other. Little bit of pressure through those hands as you allow your shoulders to roll forward. Feel that stretch through the upper back between the shoulder blades. Inhale deep and exhale as you drop your chin. Breathing, breathing. Very nice. Oh, good. One more deep breath in. And exhale as you let the pressure go from the palms, shoulders are back and down. Give me 3 delicious shoulder rolls to the back. 1, 2, and 3, followed by 3 delicious shoulder rolls to the front. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Take my jacket off. And you're going to do the same, but this time following through shoulders, elbows, and hands. So it'll look like this. You're going to go back shoulders, bring the fingertips to those shoulders as you go back elbows, and you release those hands as you go back big hands. Good. You're going to do the same thing, same order to the front. Shoulders, elbows, and hands. Good. One more time to the back. Shoulders, elbows, and hands. Last time to the front. Shoulders, elbows, oof, and hands. And this time we're going to bring the hands to the front of the body, but this time we're going to bring the right arm across the chest. Left hand is going to grab between the wrist and the elbow into our deltoid stretch. This feels so good. Right across the cap of that shoulder. If you like, you can try turning your palm to the ceiling. Get that little external rotation. It's going to make that stretch a touch more intense. Good. Big breath in. And exhale. Let's go ahead and switch. You can let that arm go. Small swing at the bottom. Other side. Across the chest. Grab between the elbow and the wrist. Oh. Very, very good. Feels so nice. Deep breath in. And exhale, you're going to look around you. See if there's a doorway or a wall within close range where you can still see the screen. And on this exhale, you're going to go ahead and let that arm go. And we're going to go into a little chest stretch. So I'm going to use the pole right here. So if this were a doorway, I would plant my hand on the inside of the doorway. If it's a wall, I would just do my hand flat on the wall like so. But it's nice to have something to grab onto. You want to grab at about the level of your shoulder. You can go a little lower or higher, but this one's going to be a baseline. Then your chest is going to turn away from the point of connection with a fairly extended arm. Now you notice my elbow is still kind of soft. I'm not locking it out. And you can play with this too. Some people prefer a bent elbow. But really where we want to feel this is right through the front of the chest here, right where it meets the shoulder. Then you're going to take your gaze and bring it to the opposite direction. So you'll take your eyes over your other shoulder. Oh, it's so nice. Good. Deep breath in. And on that exhale, very gently, please, you're going to bring your chest back forward and switch hands. So if this were a doorway, I would have to come over to this side. But because it's just a little pole, I can just do this. Planting my hand, rotating my chest away from where my hand is planted, soft elbow. And I take my eyes over this shoulder now. Very, very good. Lovely deep breaths. Excellent. Beautiful. Deep breath in. And exhale very gently, please. Always moving so slowly in and out of our poses. We're going to go ahead and grab our chairs. We're going to finish out our stretches here. Hands on the back of the chair. We're going to walk our feet back as our chest comes down. Soft knees, please, as you drive your tailbone back and drop your chest. Oh, goodness. And in just a moment, I'm going to teach a standing quad stretch. using the chair. If for whatever reason you have a hard time grabbing your ankle on this one, I will show a modification. Breathe as you let your chest drop. Oh man, I needed this today. One more time, deep inhale here. And exhale as you come up and step forward so that you're fairly close to the chair. Your hand is on the back. Good, and I'm gonna face you so you can see me. I'm gonna begin with my left leg because it's on the outside and my left hand is free. So you grab that left ankle and you're going to send your hips forward very slightly. And what we want to feel is a lovely hip flexor and quad stretch right here. And if you have the flexibility and the strength, you're going to push through the top of your left foot into that left hand. Oh, so you're adding that little bit of additional pressure. Georgianne, that looks really good. Nice work. Now, if for whatever reason, anyone watching this has a hard time bending their knee this far to grab their foot, you're going to do this modification. That left leg is going to go right on the top of the chair back. So I'll do this a little bit so you can see a little better. You're going to step the right supporting foot forward and send those hips forward here. Now you're going to feel this stretch a little bit more as a hip flexor stretch than necessarily a quad stretch, but it's still going to hit about the same area. Good. Play with this if you need to. Make sure that you're not sending your chest forward. It's just like the hip flexor stretches we do on the floor. So the glutes engaged, core is nice and tight, spine is nice and stacked, except you're on a chair instead. But for those people who are doing your quads, I'll come back to you. Good. Beautiful. So lovely deep breath in. Exhale and try to get that left thigh pointing in the same direction as the right. So your two thighs are pretty parallel here. Good. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in. And on this exhale, very gently, shift your weight into the heel of that supporting foot. Soften that knee. Very slowly and gently let go of that foot. It's super easy to let that foot just fall onto the floor. We want to make sure it's controlled. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do it freestanding. Good. So hips are even. That right knee is pointed straight down and my hips are pressing forward slightly. I'm getting a really nice stretch right here through the top of my thigh. And now, to get a little lower, I'm going to press the top of my right foot into my right hand. And you see how I'm able to extend a little bit through that resistance? Oh, so nice. And of course, ladies, the modification with your knee on a chair is always available to you. Now, this is a stability exercise. We try to do it freestanding, but if you want to focus on the quad itself, go ahead and put your hand on a wall or a table or something. Very nice. Deep breath in. Exhale, drive that knee down. Try to get it parallel with the left thigh. One more time. Big breath in. And on the exhale, soften that left knee. Bring your weight into that left heel. Very gently. Let that foot drop. Go ahead and shake out your hips for me. Good. It is time to come seated onto our chairs. So, I'll just back this up a touch so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Oh, so nice to sit down. Let's go ahead and begin with our breathing. So, I'm going to have you go ahead and start seated forward a little bit in the chair so that your butt is nicely supported, but you have plenty of play with your thighs here. But we're going to begin with our ankles directly underneath our knees, knees pointing in the same direction as our toes, so no falling in. Hands right on top of our thighs. Hips directly underneath our rib cage, so we're not curling forward and collapsing through belly. We're also not arching, sending our belly forward. Shoulders are back and down. And there's a string pulling through the top of the head. And begin to just pay attention to your breath. Not necessarily doing anything super different. Good. So I'm going to take you through a breathing exercise that is meant to deepen and elongate the breath so that when we come back to our normal breathing, it naturally slows our breath down. Here's how it's going to go. You'll kind of go at your own pace. You'll inhale as deep as you possibly can. And then when you think you can't inhale anymore, you're going to take 2 more sips of breath. Your belly's going to swell like a balloon. Then, when you exhale, you're going to do it in a long stream until you're completely out of breath. And then we'll do the same thing. So go ahead, blow all of your air out. And inhale. Through the nose. Swell that belly. And sip, sip, and exhale. Again, big inhale. Count your exhalation this time. Sip, sip, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Again, this time, see if you can beat the number. And sip, sip, exhale. Nice, I beat my last number by like 4 counts. Last time, big breath in. And sip, sip, exhale. And breathe normally. When you're done with your last exhale. Notice how much easier it is to fill your belly and breathe deeper. It just falls in and out. That's one really nice way to begin to increase our lung capacity, but also to normalize belly breathing, which is very important for our stretching, as well as any de-stress or meditative practice that you might be engaging in. Good, let's do 2 more, just nice, easy, big breaths. Good, 1 more time. And let's go ahead and begin with our figure 4s, starting with the right ankle over the top of the left. So we've been sitting still for a little while. I hope you have layers available to you or the heat is on. So be mindful here. We've probably cooled down a little bit. Let's place the right hand on the inside of that right knee. We're going to inhale. And as you exhale, your chest is going to come forward a little bit. And what that's going to do is translate into some weight onto that right hand. You want to make sure you're not necessarily pushing through the shoulder. The combination of the lean forward and the knee dropping is going to create a nice stretch in that outer hip. Love the little hip opener here. And while you're breathing through here, you're going to take a second and just pay attention to the muscles that are surrounding your eyes and your brow line. your next exhale, not only is your chest going to come down a little bit, but you're also going to try to just relax all of those muscles. Close your eyes if you need to. Unfurrow your brow. It sounds super weird to say, but relax your eye sockets. If you're ready, you can transition from hand to elbow on that knee. I find it gives me a little bit of extra leverage and helps my chest stay square. Oh, good. And this is getting into a deeper stretch. I can feel myself wanting to do like a sharp intake of breath and tense up. Instead, I'm going to breathe deep. Oh, and I can just feel my muscles relax and release. Good. Let's do one more deep breath in. And on this exhale, go ahead and very gently come up, nice and slow. Beautiful. And let's hit our IT bands here. So we're going to go ahead and close up the cross of the leg just a little bit tighter. I like to aim my knee for about mid-shin. Then I'm going to take my left hand, hook it underneath the ankle and meets the shin in the front. Right comes all the way around and the chest comes forward. Oh, and now we're getting all down the side of that thigh. Play with this cross too. Sometimes I need to go a little tighter. Sometimes I need to open it up slightly. Ah, there it is. Just depends on what my day is like. And breathe. And while you're breathing here, not only is your chest coming down a little farther, maybe your hands are traveling farther down on your shin. Slowly, incrementally, but you're also going to let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. And unclench your jaw. Adjustment here. There it is. Good. One more deep breath. And on this exhale, go ahead and come all the way up. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Go ahead and unhook that leg. And before we move on to the other side, we're going to do a nice inner hip and groin stretch. Let's bring the feet all the way out. Toes turned out like a sumo squat. Your elbows, little flat bits of your elbows are going to find your inner thighs as you hinge forward with the neutral back. And then sweep out to the insides of the knees. The shoulders will activate slightly to just open up those knees. And while you're here, you're going to just very gently nod your head, and I mean really slowly here. So you're going to drop your chin to your chest, feel the stretch through the back of your neck. And if you need to, just let it dangle a little bit. Shake your head no, very slowly and gently. Good. Deep breath in. And on this exhale, very gently come up. You can use your hands against your thighs to push yourself all the way up as needed until you're seated up nice and tall. Let's go into our figure four sequence on the other side. Left ankle over the top of that right knee. Now make sure that that right knee is aligned on top of your ankle, pointing in the same direction as your toe. A lot of times I see this or this. Hand to the inside of that left knee. I like to place my other hand on the ankle. Chest is going to start to come forward, and oh, you're going to breathe. That air is just going to fall in and fall out. And as you approach this stretch slowly, you're going to do all the facial stuff all over again. So, brow. Unfurl your brow. If you need to waggle your eyebrows a little bit to bring your attention to it, that's just great. Close your eyes. And all little muscles that control your eyeballs, you're just gonna let them go. No squinting. Your eyes are very soft. Before you know it, pretty deep into this stretch. Nice deep breaths in and out. Very good. Let's do one more time. Deep breath in. And on this exhale, oh gosh, you're gonna come all the way up. Let's go into our IT band stretch. Crossing the legs a little tighter. Again, little trial and error involved here. Right hand comes up underneath that heel to meet the shin. Other arm comes all the way around to clasp in the front of that shin, Georgia. Up, but underneath that heel. So go ahead, you're gonna hug the whole deal, and then you're gonna go boop, right against the front of the leg. There you go, perfect. Good. I need to make some adjustments here. Yeah, there it is. So that's basically just me crossing my legs slightly tighter. On the other leg, I'm slightly uncrossed. Just kind of, again, depends on where I'm at. Breathe as you hug that leg. And then on this next exhale, you're gonna let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth and unclench your jaw. Good. Beautiful. One more deep breath in. And on this exhale, go ahead and come all the way up nice and slow. Oh, and go ahead and unhook that leg. Oh, give me a little shoulder roll. Gorgeous. And we're going to come down to the mat, starting on our hands and knees. So I'm just going to move my chair. Bring that mat a little farther forward. Okay. So let's begin with a quick round of cat and cow, just to take care of that lower back. Starting with a neutral spine, your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, your knees are directly underneath your hips. You're going to inhale. As you go into cow, dropping that belly button down, chest opening up, and the tailbone's going high up to the sky. And then you exhale as you round your tailbone underneath you. Your lower back rounds, your spine goes up like a scared Halloween cat. Exhale all your air out. And inhale. And exhale. And you can kind of start to go at your own pace here. Flowing from one position to the other. And you want to go with your breath. Try to elongate your breath just as you did in the breathing exercise earlier. Oh, but everybody's cat and cow is going to look a little different. One more time. Oh, very good. Go ahead and find your neutral spine. Now, if your wrists and shoulders are very tender today, you're going to go ahead and come back into child's pose for me, and you're going to hold that for a moment. But for those of you who have strong wrists, strong shoulders, we're going to go into downward dog. So you're going to tuck your toes underneath you. You're going to lift those knees up and send your tailbone right on up to the sky. Now, we want our ears to essentially be right next to our biceps. So we don't want the chest pointing down toward the floor. We want the top of our head pointing down toward the floor, and our butt is going up to the sky. You're going to bring your feet a little closer together. Big breath in. And on the exhale, you're gonna straighten out your right leg and send your right heel down toward the floor as you soften your left knee, going into this calf stretch. Good, big breath in. And exhale as you switch. Good, inhale. Exhale, switch. Oh. Good, one more time. Inhale. And exhale, switch. Good, inhale. And exhale as you send both heels down. Very good, big breath in. And exhale as you soften your back knees, come into a high plank, and then drop your knees and come into child's pose. Oh, so good. Excellent, ladies. Deep breath into your belly. And on this exhale, you're going to walk your hands back to your knees until you're up in a kneeling position, nice and high. We're going to begin with our hip flexor stretch. So let's bring the left leg forward into a proposal pose. If you find yourself wobbly here, you can bring that left leg a little farther out to the left so you have a nice wide base of support here. And then you're going to sit up nice and tall right on top of your hips, and you're going to squeeze your right glute. So if your left leg is forward, your right butt cheek is going to pinch. And that's going to send your pelvis forward in space just a little bit, acting as though you have a string attached to your pubic bone and it's just pulling you forward. Good. So for those of you who maybe had a hard time with the quad stretch, this is your opportunity to get a little bit of a deeper hip flexor stretch. So this is level 1. For many people, this is plenty. However, if you'd like to do a little bit more, you're going to bring that left foot farther forward, like pretty far. Send those hips forward and then down. So this is resembling a little bit more of like a runner's lunge, but the back knee is down on the floor. And we just want to make sure that that knee is not going past that ankle on that front leg, that left leg. Good. Inhale and exhale, and on every exhale, you're just trying to sink your hips a little lower to the floor if you're in position 2. Position 3, if you're ready, you can go ahead and place both hands on the floor on the inside of that left leg. Oh, that is the stuff. Beautiful. Oh, send air directly to that hip flexor. Oh, gorgeous. One more deep breath in. And on this exhale, very gently, no matter where you are, you're going to place your hands on the floor if they're not there already. And you're going to walk your hands back to allow your hips to hinge back and come out of the stretch gently. Let's switch to the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and face the other direction just because it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. This time, right leg forward. Nice and tall on top of your hips. You're going to pinch the left glute and send your pelvis forward. String attached to that pubic bone, pulling you forward in space. Belly button is in. Make sure that you are not hinged forward like so. That takes the stretch out of it, especially in position 1. Oh, God, everybody's sitting so much. There's the light at the end of the pandemic tunnel. But we still need to stretch those hip flexors out so that when we can go to parties and dance again, our lower backs won't hurt. After all this sitting, big breath in. If you're ready for position 2, go ahead and approach. Bring that foot farther forward and sink those hips. Oh, God. Very, very nice. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Oh, man. Big breath in. And on this exhale, if you're ready, position 3, hands to the floor. This one is so good, it just gets me Let's do one more deep breath in here. Relax and sink. Good, last breath, inhale. And on the exhale, use your hands to walk yourself back out of the stretch gently. Go ahead and bring that foot down. We're going to lie down on our back. Let's chair away. We're going to begin with, actually, sorry, before you get too far down, go ahead and grab your t-shirt, strap, rag, hair ribbon, anything long that you can grab onto. Nice, that's great, Georgianne. Place that at your side for easy access, and then we're gonna lie down. Oh, so nice. So as we lie down here, I'm gonna have you take your knees and you're just gonna rock them from right to left, like an inch at a time. You're gonna feel the pressure in your lower back shift from one hip to the other. Good. Now you're gonna take that rock, you're gonna add another inch to it. Again, we're not going super deep, but you should be going to the point where that hip starts to lift very gently up off the mat. I like that much, not big. Good. You should feel your lower back relax and elongate, maybe release some tension. Now let's go into our lying twist. So your knees are together, and you're going to allow them to drop. For me, I'm going to go over to my left side first. That right hip is going to come up off the mat. Good. Now, if you need to keep that right knee sort of popped up a little bit, that's okay. And breathe and see if you can drop it. Arms are going to be out in the letter T. And you're going to take your gaze over to the opposite fingertips. So my knees are going over to the left. So I'm going to take my gaze over to the right. Very good. And breathe, especially in a twisted position. The breath should be really evident. Filling up your waist, your belly, your lower back. Good, let's do one more breath in. And exhale, you're gonna let your right knee come up first. That's going to allow your hips to come into a more neutral position. And the left will follow. Find your flat back and rock gently. Just an inch at a time. Good. And now let's go ahead, go on over to the other side. Knees are together, dropping the knees over to the right. Oh. Take your time. If that left knee needs to stay elevated a little bit, breathe into it. And take your gaze over to the opposite fingertip. In my case, my left fingertip. Oh. Beautiful, ladies. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to let that left knee come up first. You're going to feel yourself rolling onto that right glute. Then the right knee is going to come up. Go ahead and grab your strap. You're going to begin on the left leg. You're going to wrap that strap right around the center of the bottom of the foot, and that foot stays flexed, please. What we don't want is for the toe to point and the strap to snap off the back of the heel. We also don't want the strap to be too close to the toe. Otherwise, if it falls off and snaps you in the face, that would be really bad. That leg is going to be nice and straight. You're going to inhale deep, and on the exhale, you're just going to add very light pressure to the band, t-shirt, rag, what have you. What we're going for here is a nice hamstring stretch down the back of that leg. That toe should be traveling very slowly, obviously, over our head. A couple little things to look out for here. You do want the ankle to be aligned with the hip bones, so we're not like falling in or flaring out. Now, those are legitimate stretches, but we're not really focusing on those today. Also, that foot is not adding too much pressure to the inside or the outside. We want to make sure that the foot is nice and flat. Oh, and I am already shaking a little bit. This happens when I get into a deep stretch sometimes, especially on this one. It just goes quiver, quiver, quiver. There's nothing particularly wrong with that necessarily. Just want to make sure that you continue to breathe and move slowly when you're moving in and out of these stretches. Good, let's do one more deep breath in. And on the exhale, slowly, slowly, please release the pressure on the band until you come out of the stretch into a much more neutral position. Then you will bend the knee, take the strap off, switch it over to the other side. Oh. And find that initial stretch. Again, both hips are on the floor, ankle is lined up with the hip, foot is flat, toe is flexed, knee is flat, nice and straight, and breathe as you begin to add pressure to that band. Oh. Maybe the foot that you just stretched out is tingling a little bit as the blood rushes back into it. It's normal. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Oh. Very nice, ladies. Deep inhale. Your only goal is to get that hamstring to relax. Beautiful. One more time. Ooh, I'm starting to shake. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, very, very slowly and gently, please. Let that leg get farther away from you. Then bend that knee. Unhook the strap and bring that foot to the mat. Good. Arms at your sides or folded across your torso. Let your eyes come to closed. I'm going to sit up to speak to you, but you can stay right where you are. We're just going to take this last minute to breathe. Paying close attention to the pace of your breath. How long the inhale is versus the exhale. The temperature of the air as it travels in through the nose, cool, out through the mouth, warm. And take this moment to thank your body for everything it's done for you today. One more deep inhale. And on this exhale, allow your eyes to drift open into a soft and steady gaze. Ladies, that is our stretch session. Beautiful work.